So in the chapter, you go on from identifying problems with the current money system to talking about money as a commons and even describing a new vision of commons as not being only a resource in itself. So what do you have to say to that older idea of a tragedy of the commons?
Okay, so in economics, the tragedy of the commons has been discussed traditionally as a problem of managing resources that everybody has access to. Public resources, if you want, or right. And Garrett Hardin, who actually initially wrote about this, said, well, there are two solutions to the problem of the commons. One is give ownership to a private individual, so private ownership, so that it would be in the interest of that private ownership individual to keep the quality of the commons, say it's the quality of a river or of a grazing field or a forest, right? Because it's in his or her interest to be well kept, he will keep it properly. So it is the private ownership and a market kind of organization of the economy. The other solution is give ownership to the state who represents the public, and the state will put regulations and rules to actually access that commons and use that commons so that its quality will be kept. And this is how traditionally the tragedy of the commons has been addressed. But we have Elinor Ostrom, the first woman to win the Nobel Prize in 2009, who said, well, that may be what theory says, but if we travel around the world, the commons that are best managed are managed by communities, and there are other ways of governing the commons. And so what the chapter says is, look, we have, the economists have been thinking about the commons simply as the resource itself. And what we're doing, thanks to Elinor Ostrom, partly, but also thanks to a whole set of scholars within sociology and political sciences at the moment, from De Angelis to name just one, is that, well, the commons is not only the resource. What Garrett Hardin was describing was an open access, free-for-all kind of resource. The commons is the resource, a community that cares, that manages it, that thinks about, and manages it so that sustainably, and a set of rules, norms that the community develops and adjusts to adapt to the changing conditions of the resource and the community. So that is the commons. And if we start looking at money as such, money is not just a thing that some have and don't have. It's not a resource that you can accumulate and spend when you individually want, but it's actually a technology, a socio-technical arrangement that organizes the economy. And the economy, it's all of us. It's not you, it's not yours, and it's not mine. We're making it all of us. Then money is a commons. It's a commons, it's a resource that, for its being at all, involves governance rules, how it is created, when it is created, who for it is created, how it is distributed, all that, and a community, which is the community of users. And if we start thinking, we believe, my co-authors and I, we believe that if we start thinking about money as a commons, then not only would we re-educate everybody and hopefully help us see the responsibility we all have, but also it will help us put demands on the people that today manage our money.